first.
We can get Devon on. We don't got time for Devon.
We don't.
No, we don't. I did ask if he wanted to come on, though. Fun fact.
Nice.
But Devon Dudley said no. But I'll tell you who didn't say no, Vanessa. Do you know who didn't say no to come on?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
I will tell you. Pretty Ricky, not Wildy, not Wildy, Wildy.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good to see you. How you doing?
Good morning. Jeez, what time zone are you in?
Oh, it's been a couple back and forth. You know how it is.
Yeah, for sure. It is. It's not Wildy, which I thought it was at first, and then
Wildy. It is Wildy.
Wildy.
It's not Wildy. It's Wildy.
It's Wildy.
Yes, that's right.
Wildy.
I'm saying it correctly, right? Wildy.
Yes.
Wildy.
Yes.
I thought it was the other one, and then I
Yeah.
heard him in a podcast, and he corrected the person. I was like, I'm gonna get this right, and I haven't gotten it right now the 3 times that I've said it. But we're gonna thank you for joining us. I know we had you scheduled earlier. Something came up, and that's fine because we're cool with that, and you're here now, and that's all really that matters.
Yeah, my apologies. Ran into a little bit of a family thing. Situation pop up. So I do apologize for that, for missing that date. But happy to be here now.
So my first question is, I was watching some matches of yours today, several ones, and I'm just curious to why you were dressed as a giant chicken, and who were you wrestling in that match?
I was dressed as a giant chicken because I was wrestling Peter Griffin. So
right.
we were wrestling at a Comic-Con. We tore the house down. You know what I mean? We went all across the Civic Center. Eventually, we got back into the ring. We needed a big ending. We didn't have like a bomb or an explosion, so we got Bushwhacker Luke in there. He used Peter Griffin's head as the battering ram, knocked my chicken self onto my backside. You know, put on the show that we needed to.
What Civic Center was that?
Good God, couldn't tell you. It was, I'm going to say 4 hours north of Toronto. I believe Tito Santana had been in the area recently before that, like a week or two. Yeah, a lot of Comic-Cons up north, but I couldn't tell you where it is.
Yeah. And then the next question, I wanted to lead off with these 2 questions. That one was from Vanessa. She definitely wanted to know that answer. But you smooching is your thing.
Thank you.
So, and it's a great gimmick, or it's a great thing to have. My question is, will you be able to continue that after all this, or?
Yeah, 100%. I've been doing it the entire time, basically. Here's the deal. If you're wrestling me, you're on top of me. We are changing a lot of air, breath, fluids. These things happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just a matter of if you're going to get in the game, you're going to get in the game. Like when you step into the ring, you understand that the other person's finger can go into your mouth. You don't want it to happen. It is a disqualification if they do it, but ultimately those sort of things can happen. So you're taking your life in your own hands when you go in there.
Yes, you would need to be in one of those lights out unsanctioned match to stick your finger in someone's mouth and not get disqualified.
Yeah, and they got to have bags of money if I'm going to be signing up for that.
You want to take a backdrop onto some tacks?
But not at all. I don't want to take a backdrop onto a couch. You know what I mean? Like it hurts. I try to avoid all of it.
The other thing that really resonated with me when I started preparing for this was your promo skills. They're off the charts. Now, my first question is, you have passed out cutting promos. Is this normal for Pretty Ricky?
Yeah, this is just a general thing. If I get fired up, if I have too much coffee, or if I just get on a topic that I'm really passionate about, there's a good chance that my blood sugar will spike and I'll just hit the floor. I come back probably 30, 35 seconds later. Generally not a huge deal, but it is something that happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure, though, it puts butts in seats. You get the promo across, and it all works out.
Yeah, or just like, ordering food. If they don't understand my order, it can get rough. I've passed out in drive-thrus before screaming into the speaker box. It's better for me just to go inside Wendy's.
Growing up, what's the first wrestling memory that you can remember? Whether it's watching something on TV or throwing an LJN around, what was it?
So it's always been in my house. Like there's a multi-generational problem with wrestling. But there's a VHS of SummerSlam 91, I think it is. It's the Match Made in Heaven, Match Made in Hell. I'm pretty sure it's 91, but I could be wrong on that. And I feel like I've watched that tape so many times. I just have that card memorized. It had a Royal Rumble sticker on the VHS because it was, pirated from back in the day.
Yeah.
But good God, yeah, that's the first show that I remember, and that's why they got a new Sid Justice toy coming out where he's in a ref shirt. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Sid, but like, man, he was the ref from that show, and it's just kind of something sentimental about the long curly blonde hair, the ref shirt. It's a vision.
Yeah, man, a Sid Justice referee action figure. Or he was on the cover of that Coliseum home video, I believe.
Probably. I only ever had the stolen versions of everything, but I believe you that it was on there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, kids today got it easy. Now they can just go to literally just type in the match they want to see. There it is. Like I had to borrow cassette tapes, tape them. And it was hard. You had to trade, and today kids got it easy, man. Easy.
Yeah, I had to record everything off TV. I did grow up with a computer though, but I scrapped like 3 of them, just downloaded every file I could trying to get my hands on wrestling. It was a lot of corrupted stuff. These things happen.
Did you always want to be a wrestler? Was that it?
I'll be honest with you. I was like 24 years old before I realized that there were people who did not want to become wrestlers. I assumed that was the goal for everyone. That's what we were all doing. Turns out a lot of people don't want to do that, but so yeah, this has been the whole goal the whole time.
Were your parents behind this?
No. Why would anyone want you to do that? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible life plan. It's not a very smart plan. It's horrifically unorganized, and it's just not a good way to build a life. But some callings can't be denied.
They can't be denied. Now, I heard in a past, you went on the record saying your parents wanted you to be a lawyer. Could you
lawyer or a doctor for sure?
Yeah. You can play. I mean, I guess you could. You dressed up as a chicken. I suppose you could be a Isaac Yankem.
I'm sure I've done one of those things one of those times. Yeah, they were really looking for me to do that. I just don't have it in me. You know what I mean?
We have a debate going on right now in the Twitch chat. They're wondering how much it cost to furnish that Seinfeld apartment. Is that Seinfeld's apartment?
Yeah, it wasn't cheap. I'll admit that. But I just kind of like it. My only other option was the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer gets the set for a talk show in his own apartment. The Merv Griffin show. Thank you, Merv Griffin show. So that was what I was gonna go for, but it was just such a headache to track down all that furniture. So I've just gone for this look. How many people we got live in the chat right now?
I try not to ever look at how many people are live. I pretend there's millions and millions of people.
I forgot that there was a live stream. Shout out to the people in the chat. Thanks for being here.
Everybody forgets it's a live stream. Everybody. That's our gimmick. We tell people that we're doing a podcast, and but it's really live.
Right on.
It's worked out so far. How does one get a free month at Santino's school at Crossbody?
Okay, so free month, couldn't tell you. I know at Battle Arts, which was Santino's school, they gave free week trials, but they were pretty strict on that, so it was hard to slip beyond that. And I saw a lot of guys come in, tell me how passionate they were about wrestling, do a week trial, and never saw them again. At Crossbody, I would assume it would be the same thing, but due to COVID, they're currently switching buildings. I got a 6-month free scholarship to Battle Arts, but I had to win a contest in the Toronto Pro Super Show, the bodybuilding exposition. So I had to win in a competition for Battle Arts there, and that started my my pro wrestling journey, at least.
Kicked it off. So what were you doing before that? Were you just doing bodybuilding shows?
No, before that I was at U of T. I was amateur wrestler, and then I dating a girl, and she was a bodybuilder, so we went there. I stopped by just because I was a big wrestling fan, and they said, "Oh, we have a competition going on where you can win a free trial." And the plan was at the time for me and her to move out to Calgary to go to Lance Storm School, but then we fell into this this scholarship from Battle Arts, and it just kind of set our life in a different path.
Nice. So what's that? You go in there, so you get the scholarship. You go in, you see all the people that are coming in, saying they're passionate and whatnot. What's that first week like for you?
So to win the competition, I had to do, I want to say it was 1,000 squats. Maybe it was less. I don't remember. But we had to do a bunch of different exercises, and I wasn't that fit. You know what I mean? But Yuki Ishikawa Santino just staring at you, and I really wanted to win this thing. So I spent the better part of the next like 2 weeks walking around like Frankenstein. So that really stunted my start there. But I can like vividly remember my first day at Battle Arts, talking to Santino, talking to the different characters, seeing the place for the first time, just recognizing that, every clip I've ever seen of a wrestling school, every book I've ever read about it, it's always been this dingy, disgusting, terrible place. And this is like legitimately a palace. So it was unbelievable for me to be there.
Before I want to get into like who Pretty Ricky is, especially for some people maybe who have never even heard of you, but I have written down here you were signed as a referee in the WWE.
I mean, I've been signed to a few different places. I won't deny that. I was a referee on Ring of Honor for a little bit there.
Okay.
Yeah, these things happen. So I was, I think towards the end of my university career, I was starting as a pro wrestling referee. Again, just like trying to get my foot into the business, trying to figure it out. And then eventually switched courses and went over to strictly wrestling.
Strictly wrestling. So now we're up to strictly wrestling. Who is Pretty Ricky? And is it just you dialed up to like 1,000? What's the deal?
I don't even think it's that, quite frankly. It's just, it's me in front of a large group of people. Yeah. They want to yell at me. They want to try to make a deal out of me. And ultimately, I don't know, I'm trying to accomplish something here. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's hard to even say that I'm trying to turn it up as much as I'm in front of a large group of people. There are cameras on me. I'm excitable. I'm ready to go in that moment. So yeah, it's it's just kind of me being me.
Are the fans more of an annoyance?
Oh, I can't say that because the energy is just not the same during the COVID shows. I love them, and there's still a lot of good to be had there. A lot of very a lot of incredible products being put out there, but it's just not the same without the fans. It's not the same energy of that hot, tight, packed little building just vibrating from the sounds. That's what we're going for, Yeah,
for sure. Some people might classify you as, I personally wouldn't, but others may, as a comedy wrestler. What are your thoughts on that?
I understand why they say that. I disagree entirely. Yeah, I disagree. That's just personal opinion. It's like, the idea of saying that Ravishing Rick Rude was a comedy wrestler. Right. I don't think so. I don't think The Rock was a comedy wrestler. I think they were hysterical. I think, watching Hulk Hogan promos, I think are pretty funny. Yes, and there's a lot of just ridiculous stuff in wrestling. Like I was just watching WrestleMania 15 and the Big Boss Man's hung by a noose. Yeah. And it's like, what, this is serious? That's what this is? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's all insanity. It's a carnival show. Yeah. So maybe people don't like to have that many laughs in wrestling, which I can appreciate. And I don't think that it should be all laughs. I think there should be a plethora of things on the card. That's a personal opinion of mine. But yeah, to try to just kind of categorize it and fluff it off as a comedy wrestler, you could say I'm not in as good a shape as Ravishing Rick Rude. Like that I'll admit to. What I mean?
That you're down for. But you're right. Ravishing Rick Rude was very entertaining, very comedic.
Absolutely. And like by the same token, I'm probably not as good as a wrestler as him. So you could also say that, and these are fair criticisms, but to say that he's a pro wrestler and I'm a comedy wrestler, I don't see that distinction the same way.
Yeah. Oh, gee. I mean, we could talk about this all day. Owen Hart was an extremely, entertaining guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you think about the little spots where he was just kind of messing with Brett and such a little detail. Yeah. But there's also a little bit of comedy in there. There's maybe more, and I hate this pun, but there's legitimately more heart in those spots than just the strict laugh, which I can, again, there's an argument we can get into, but I don't see those strict definitions as people want to try to put them around. These days. It's like, in the 90s saying that these guys are just strictly hardcore wrestlers. Right. Was Stone Cold Steve Austin a hardcore wrestler? He had some of the wildest, best brawls going. Yeah. He was the world champion. You know what I mean? I don't think he's necessarily a hardcore wrestler. It's all, these categories are all kind of make-believe.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. They're like hashtags. Nobody really pays attention to them. But
yeah, I've been trying to get so many hashtags over it, and it's not working. So I don't think it's worth the try.
I have a whole list. Hold on, let me see. The Brantford rattlesnake, young smooch daddy, big nasty, I can't say that fucking word.
Big nasty extravagant athlete.
Thank you. Jacked master of all trades, the danger baby, Johnny Depp, pretty Ricky Willdy.
Thank you.
Yes, I
thank
got it
you.
right that time. Yes. Yeah,
One of my favorite nicknames on that list is the Danger Baby. I think that's fantastic. Unfortunately, there's already a wrestler going by the Danger Kid, so I have had to scratch that off my social media. I've replaced it with Young Thunder Lips, which personally I think is fantastic.
Young Thunder Lips. That's
come
great.
on.
That's awesome.
Money in the making. What's up?
If you go out as Young Thunder Lips, are you gonna get the long, silky blonde hair, some white trunks?
I love the idea of getting blonde hair, but I don't want to ruin what I have. I feel like it'll all just come out like Rex Atkins, that big bald-headed wrestler. I like the idea of white tights, though.
Yeah.
I worry they get dirty.
Yeah, they could have an accident.
That's not what I'm saying here. Trying to pin me into a corner. I'm saying the mat's dirty. These filthy establishments, disgusting professional wrestling rings.
That's
Give me a Lysol wipe.
He did say that earlier. There'll be a lot of Lysol wipes now once we start opening.
Yes.
We'll be all over the place. I lost my place in my notes. Pretty Ricky.
I've had ringworm a couple times. That was your next question. I've had ringworm a couple times. I got it when I was amateur wrestling. I got it when I was training jiu-jitsu. I've got it when I was pro wrestling. These things just happen. All right. It's a contact sport.
It is.
Clean your mats. Everyone. You know what I mean? Most places do. I shouldn't say that. These things happen.
I remember when I was in high school and the basketball team would have practice and then the wrestling team would have it on the other side. They had that big mat that they had to roll up and every time. And at least 3 of our players would help them roll it up. They always got ringworm every time. Can't get rid of it.
I call that home.
Call it home.
Sometimes home's got worms.
It does. Yeah. I heard that you really want, not only are you trying to get hashtags over, but you want a show on Netflix.
Yeah. I don't know about a show necessarily, but I definitely want to be the first wrestler signed to Netflix. That is the goal. I mean, WWE, absolutely. Boyhood dream, not going to deny that. But really pie in the sky. We're looking for Netflix. So we got a couple of irons in the fire trying to get old Mr. Netflix on there, but John's not answering the phone, you know.
Just keep calling. He'll pick it up. WWE, the pie is in the sky. Is that where you could see Pretty Ricky going smooching all the young ladies?
You know, I said it for a long time, and I'm talking like since I was 12 years old, where it's the idea that I don't know, seeing myself on a television, I don't see what show I fit on necessarily,
right?
Except for professional wrestling. Like that's where I make sense. That's where it's just logical. You know what I mean? Like growing up, there was always this issue of me. I was coming into conflicts with people a lot. It's because I had nowhere to put that energy. And then once I figured out pro wrestling, it's like, oh no, that's where all this energy goes. So now I can be a more regular person day to day, but be able to kind of express it through pro wrestling and have that moment where there are eyes on me, and that's acceptable. You know what I mean? So to get it to that next level, I do believe that WWE, AEW, any wrestling television show, I think that's where I make the most sense. But the one extension further than that would be have my own Netflix show where I'm in control of that. So that's where I think I would make sense as well.
What would the Netflix show be?
So again, it could, I don't see it as a series. You know what I mean? I see it as like a special, but it's my own thing. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's all of my major influences just kind of piled into one thing. So it'd be professional wrestling, stand-up comedy, as well as just the bizarre and macabre. So trying to throw all that together and produce one fluid thing would be the goal.
You speaking of stand-up comedy, you did some of that. I think you started maybe in high school. Who were some of the people you looked up to?
When I was in high school, I figured out George Carlin. I just learned about him, and that kind of, I don't know, changed my world. So it sent me onto a weird course because I also did some preaching. So I was involved with some churches and doing that. And I don't mind it, but as much as I love George Carlin, looking back on it, you know, there's something better about just joke telling and actually just hitting those punchlines and going for the strong laugh as opposed to the thoughtful, because not everything's got to be brilliant, and honestly it's overdone. I got mental apathy with all of it. The political discourse, the public consciousness of it, it's just all, good God, exhausting and bombarding. So to move on and just, well, what happened to Jim Carrey spreading his butt cheeks and talking with his butthole?
Right.
Like this was a moment in time. We can get back there, people, and that's the goal.
I want to bring back Beavis and Butthead, and they are coming back with a movie.
And I worry about it. I worry about it coming back and it trying to have some kind of moral or some kind of like message where it's like, no, that's not the idea. Nope. It's just garbage for garbage.
It's just absolute. It's so bad. Me and my wife, we found every Beavis and Butthead episode, and the best part about it was that they included the music videos, because that's key. If you're gonna watch Beavis and Butthead, it has to be like they were the original people that did reaction videos. Like you have to watch it with the MTV music videos. It's brilliant. I should have thought of that.
Yeah, the money we could have made.
Right? Exactly. How many things can you stuff in your trunks?
How many things can I stuff in my trunks? I've never reached a full capacity. So I've always had more room to wiggle, as far as I could tell. But, these referees, especially on the scene, man, they're not doing the most thorough job. So if you can hide something in your trunks, why wouldn't you? I see those guys wearing full body singlets, and it's like, oh, God. If they weren't so jacked, you would just see a bunch of different foreign objects hidden all over it. Yeah. You got to roll with the punches.
There's some Columbia House CDs. They only check the legs and the arms. I watch them. They never check the mid.
There's always slide downs right down the side, and I'm trying to be an honest man. That's why I just wear trunks, but they still don't check it.
No, for sure. It's ridiculous. I was going to go back to a WWE question, but now I can't remember what it was.
Hulk Hogan's the answer. I would want to wrestle Hulk Hogan. I would still, if I'm being honest, any match that could be made that I would want to see, it's still Hulk Hogan and John Cena. I'm not talking about it 10 years ago. I'm talking about tomorrow. I want to see
about it now.
Absolutely. And I'm not a huge John Cena fan, but I just think those two together would be fantastic. I would like to wrestle Hulk Hogan. If not him, then Andre the Giant.
Who goes over in that match, Hogan Cena?
Hogan, no question. Come on,
brother. In great segue, because now I do remember exactly what it was I wanted to ask. You talked about Pie in the Sky being WWE. You are up in Canada. We just had Jimmy Profit on a couple shows ago. Talked about getting more eyes on the Canadian scene, the wrestling scene up there in Canada. Where do you stand? How can we get more eyes on Canadian wrestling?
I think there's a lot of talent in Ontario that absolutely deserve more eyes. I think there should be more eyes on the products, but that's all speaking pre-COVID, because at this point, wrestling's dead. You know what I mean? It's over. You want to be a pro wrestler, buy a microphone and a ring light. You're a podcaster now. These things are completely damaged. Even the main space, you know what I mean? It's all crumbling. The infrastructure is completely destroyed. So hopefully 10, 20, 30 years, kids pick it back up and it becomes something incredible again. But for the next foreseeable future, we have seen the peak, and the legs have been cut out of everyone, and it's over.
Oof,
sell your tickets.
That hurts. Thoughts on Holden Albright?
Oh, he's incredible. He's a tremendous wrestler, better person, little terrifying, but beyond that, absolutely beautiful.
He's a little crazy. He's got some theories, some conspiracy theories sometimes. Make you think.
Oh, yeah, there's some dark corners to his mind. There's no questions about that. But ultimately, a good heart and trying to blend those two.
Yeah, he's definitely good guy. He told us his backup plan. He wanted. What did he want to do, Vanessa?
He wanted to do something with porn.
Something with porn. I forget what it was now, but
it's classy.
Makes sense.
I'll let you in on my retirement plan. Yes. If all goes belly up for me, I'm going to sell my Pokemon card collection. I'm going to move to Bracebridge, and I'm going to be Santa Claus at Santa's Village.
You got a big Pokemon collection?
No, just the original 151, but that's good enough. That's $100,000.
There you go. Jeez, I was doing it all wrong back then.
Welcome to money, baby. Let's do this.
For sure. Yeah. RJ City.
RJ City.
Yes. Have you ever had a match with him?
I've had multiple matches with him. I do want to take a quick interlude and be serious, though. And I want to say, all your listeners in Twitch, sell your house, put all your money in Nintendo. That stock will only go up. Sorry, back to RJ City. Yeah, we wrestled once in Barrie, once in Destiny, and we've had a couple of other interactions with Ray Bernardo, the car dealer.
I don't know him.
Yeah, no, you're not alone there. So Ray Bernardo, the car dealer, some car dealer from Toronto, he decided to pick a fight, try to make fun of me. So me, him, and RJ ended up in a whole thing. I verbally assaulted him, physically embarrassed him. Classic, run-of-the-mill stuff, you know what I mean? Just another guy piping his mouth off.
Now, you and RJ City both speak very well on the microphone. Yep. And we know that matches are gone over, like, how it's going to play out. We know this stuff, you know? Could Pretty Ricky and RJ City have a match where they're just reading the rundown of the match against each other?
With me and RJ, we can get into a place where legitimately we can do anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. It does break down the barriers. Again, it all comes down to the rest of the show, because if it's all insanity, then it just feels numbing. You know what I mean? Like by the end of grunge music, it was all just kind of nonsense. Like, why are we just depressing ourselves? But if there's something different to it, if there's something special to it and unique to it, then we could do that. I certainly love the idea of cutting long, arduous promos and just going over moves that I could do, as opposed to actually doing them and having to injure myself.
I could see that. You run a move, but then RJ he'd interject with like a counter move.
Yeah, I could see that developing. I could see that working back and forth. The problem, honestly, with that is having two working microphones to go back and forth to somebody at an indie show. Not always the easiest thing to accomplish.
That's hilarious.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you've ever seen a promo battle and they have to pass the microphone back and forth, kills it. No energy. Stop doing what you're doing. Do karaoke instead. But yeah, it's if you can get two working microphones, I agree.
Or you get the ones where they just yell back and forth at each other in the ring.
Yeah.
They hope everyone in the back hears.
Hopefully the 13 people in the audience can all pay attention. It's good God, I love it, and I wish it was back. But again, it's gone.
It's gone. Well, here, like, this pandemic is really shitty. A lot of shitty stuff has come from it. But for me personally, I didn't really know much about independent wrestling before this pandemic. I knew of Ring of Honor back in the day. I guess you could even say it now if you want. I knew of that type of independence, but I did not know of this stuff going up in Canada. I didn't know of the stuff that's going out in Texas. I didn't know any of this. And my eyes are being open to it, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I sympathize there, because I was, again, huge wrestling fan, and I always knew there was other stuff out there. Like, I had a lot of ultra-violent death matches, tapes growing up, so I knew there was other wrestling than just what was on TV. But for some reason, I never put together that there was, like, a lot of independent wrestling. And when I even got into the business, it was still, like, I didn't really recognize that there were shows all around me. So when I started figuring that out, and there was a rhythm and a schedule to it, and there was tons of stuff going on, it was like both feet going in deep end of the pool. It was a lot of excitement, and just, I don't know, it really did feel like a golden age we were breaking into. You know what I mean? There was more wrestling on television. There was more wrestling all over the place, and it was getting seen because of the internet. It was a really incredible ride to be on. Just unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. But as you said, it's dead. It's dead now.
Yeah. No. Wrestling's over. It's completely over. That being said, NSW New School Wrestling is running an iPay-per-view March 28th, 4 p.m. And you should definitely check it out, because I will be main eventing and destroying Alexander Del Bruno, going for a heavyweight championship.
What else you got going on?
Just that day, or in general?
How about what you got going on in wrestling, and then in general?
So in wrestling, I got that. I got CWF as another local promotion that's running. I got a couple of contacts for Texas, but just trying to get planes out of America or out of Canada is pulling your hair out, tedious. Beyond that, I got a podcast, I got my own merch, social media, but I mean, nothing's going on. So just honestly, get into the stock market, try to make some money, be an entrepreneur in this time. Don't try to hoard and sell things that people need, but sell Pokemon cards because there's no harm in it and there's money to be made. The whole world's changed. Or honestly, you can consider me a whiner because there's guys like Ethan Page out there who just got signed to AEW and he's killing it. So you know what I mean? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe you should challenge the Karate Man. He didn't get signed anywhere.
Yeah. You worry getting muddled in those waters.
Yeah. Rip your heart out or something. Who knows?
Yeah, if I'm lucky.
What's one stock you would advise us all to get in on?
Cheetos, Frito-Lay, definitely. The Cheeto price is only going to go up.
I have bags of them upstairs.
I'm not wrong.
Right, exactly.
If you can buy sealed LJN wrestling figures, I think there's a lot of money in that.
Yeah. I wish.
If you can get original Dwayne Johnson rookie cards from the University of Miami, a lot of money in that.
Wow, I never even thought of that. I have all my LJNs down here. None of them are sealed.
Everyone open them.
I chewed the hand off of Bret Hart. I don't know why. I must have liked the texture. I also painted the British Bulldogs to look like Demolition.
That's pretty hardcore. That's cool.
So there you go. So, anyways, Ricky, we're near the end of the show. Unless you have anything else.
I mean, I'll throw a plug out there. My last name is Willdy, Willdy. So you can follow me on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, and all podcast platforms at ProWilldy, PROWILLDY.
Yes. See, I was going to give you the mic to put over whatever you want. You just did it. So well done. He isn't wrong. Got to invest in your future, says someone in the chat.
What did he say?
He says you are not wrong about investing in your future. Must have been talking about the Frito-Lays.
You watch your attitude, young man.
I know. I told you.
These guys in the chat.
His name's the Blind Umpire.
Yeah, it seems like it.
It does, right?
Get you 3 mice and a cane. Watch yourself, buddy.
Vanessa, you got anything for Pretty Ricky?
Oh, I threw it up in Discord, but you didn't read it. I
didn't see it.
How many belts are you not returning?
Oh, I got a stack of them over there. I got 4 or 5 that I got right now. I'm hoping to win another one, just try to clean them up. You know what I mean? These things are going to be collector's items because all of independent wrestling is going to burn. So I'm collecting as much as I can before the end of it all. They still let me in the building, and I'm pumped about it.
Nice. So in the end, who's going to collect more belts? Pretty Ricky or Kenny Omega?
Oh, well, he's getting paid millions of dollars. It's not even close. If I was getting paid millions of dollars, my house would be made out of championship belts. I would have melted them down and made a home. You know what I mean? It's preposterous to even have these kind of games.
The Blind Umpire replied. He said he's got 4 balls and a base for you.
I have no idea what that means. It sounds vaguely homophobic, and I'm going to tell you again to watch your attitude, young man. It's pathetic. What year is this? What time zone are you in?
We might have to time him out. I'm in the East Coast.
You're out of here.
He's from Canada, Blind Umpire. I don't think they have baseball up there. You can't count the Blue Jays.
Has he been donating to your Twitch stream?
No, I don't think he has.
All right. Either donate to the Twitch stream or I'm going to start flipping out.
He's going to get upset.
We don't want him to pass out. My
blood sugar's getting low.
Yeah, that's I can't get over that sad. Where did you pick? Where were you able to find that couch?
Garage sales, Value Village mostly.
Yeah, Gary V told me I need to be hitting all the garage sales, all the yard sales, get my Nintendo DS, flip it somewhere else. I got to get into that.
Absolutely, make money, man.
Make an extra 100 a week or something. Oh, good.
Crumbs make crumb cake. Let's make money.
Let's make money. Well, anyways, Pretty Ricky, it's been a phenomenal time. And our door, we don't even shut our door here at the bar, so you're welcome any time to come back and give us more stock updates or anything, really. Doors.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I've had a blast. Please have me on whenever you want. Send it out. Rest in peace to professional wrestling. I love you all. Donate.
Have a great night.
You as well.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. That was.